vote was way closer, but the media good guy goes to a Ravens player who has gone above and beyond normal media obligations to make himself available, offer insight that we can then as media members pass along to fans. It was a very close vote. There were a number of players who received votes, which is a reflection of the locker room, but this individual really stood out. It's not always easy to talk to media after a loss, if things don't go well during the game, whatever it is, but he made himself available, and we very much appreciate it. The 2023 Ravens media good guy is Kyle Hamilton.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you guys, I appreciate that. It was a surprise to me. I really respect everything that you guys do on a daily basis. It's a grind, and people around the world are relying on your information. So you guys have the job to do just like I do, and appreciate you guys. Thank you. I mean, I was out there today, pretty much full participant, so it was got through it, did well, feeling good.
How are you approaching these weekend of games, or I don't know how regularly you get to watch these football games in general because you're out there, but how are you going to watch these games if you do at all, understanding that you can play one of these potential 4 teams?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way to watch the games because I'm sure we'll be watching plenty of them next week, but whoever we end up playing, I mean, it's out of the field. I feel like we play a lot of people still in the playoffs right now, and you know, it's at the end of the day, nameless faceless opponents. We're going to approach every game like we do in the past, and how every opponent we approach. So it doesn't really matter who we play. In my opinion, I think we're just going to prepare for them the same way.
How to approach playoffs with the bye week? You know, how to go about that?
Yeah, I think we've done such a good job of credit to the vets, like you said, of creating somewhat of a playoff atmosphere every week throughout the year. I feel like it's been somewhat of a seamless transition the past week, and not even past weeks, past couple of days getting to the actual playoffs, and it's a blessing to have this bye week and allow us to be where our feet are and just get our minds right for the road ahead. But like you said, Lamar, Roquan, everybody who's a leader on this team has done a good job of just the intensity ramps up a little more, and it's winter go home at this point, and I know we all don't want to go home right now. We know we have a championship to win.
Kyle, as a guy that wasn't on that 2019 team, do you feel like a lot of that talk of what happened that year is kind of like overblown because you guys are different? You being a guy that is here now that wasn't there now, how do you feel about the talk of comparing the 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame people for talking about it. I wasn't here, so I don't know too much of what happened, but I mean, we were first in the AFC and lost, and that's what all people have to go off right now, besides the Ray Lewis at Reed Day. So we gotta prove ourselves in the moment that we're capable of going on a championship.
Kyle, what's it like when you see Dalvin Cook? I'm sure that's a guy that you've watched throughout your career. What's it like seeing him at practice?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it never gets old seeing guys who I've looked up to, like Jadeveon Clowney. You know, he's a real cool guy, and being able to chop it up with him. Kyle Van Noy, like Odell. I mean, and then Dalvin Cook. I mean, I've been watching him dominate since Florida State, and it's cool to be on a team where we have a bunch of guys like that who have made their name for themselves around the league, and I can take bits and pieces from them.
All right, appreciate it. What's going on, everybody? I'm Luke Jones, and just wanted to take a brief moment here on behalf of the local media and the Baltimore chapter of the PFWA to announce the Ravens team MVP for the 2023 season. As you might expect, the vote was unanimous, but I know as much as this individual will say he didn't do it alone, I think it's pretty clear the Ravens wouldn't be in the spot they're in right now as the #1 seed heading into the postseason without his spectacular play over the course of the season. So I have a hunch he might get a few more honors over the course of the next few weeks, but the 2023 Ravens MVP, as voted by the local media, is Lamar Jackson.
Appreciate you. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, Luke. Appreciate you. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all so much, man. Y'all mean a lot to us, you know, in the community. So I just want to thank y'all.
It's nice that it's unanimous, so you don't have to ask which one of us didn't vote for it.
I appreciate that. That's I mean, it means a lot, man. That's love. Appreciate that.
What's your focus this week?
Just getting better. You know, we had a couple of days off, but you know, just get back in the swing of things. Just staying loose, you know, staying prepared for the game. You know, next week. That's all. You know, just staying focused on that. Small things, clean up details and stuff like that.
How you celebrating your birthday?
I just hung out with my family. That's all I did. I enjoyed it.
That thing you've talked about, not looking ahead, staying zeroed in on the moment. Do you think you're better at that today than you were when you're 22, 23 years old?
Yeah, just from experience though. That's why I say I'm better at it now. You know, probably when I was 22, it was like, you know, I'm just gonna stay locked in. But when you're 22 years old, you still got so much to see. You know, even at 27. But just how things went before, me seeing different things. That's what's got me so lazy locked down.
Lamar, your impressions of Dalvin Cook, now teammate?
Awesome. 9.54, 305 combination going on. You know, Miami, Brown County. I'm really excited. You know, I was happy about the situation. I reached out to him before the season. You know, with the little Jets and you know when he was signing with Jets or whatever before then. But you know, God works in mysterious ways, and you know he's here now. So that's dope.
Lamar, any of the 4 playoff opponents you could have played before, have you started even scouting ahead, or is it sort of like, hey, when things shake out, you learn who that opponent is, then you start beginning that process?
Yeah, absolutely. When things, you know, kick off and we see who we're going to play, then I'll just be locking in from there. And I don't want to just be watching film on teams and we're not going to be playing them. I don't want my mind racing and stuff like that. You know, just trying to stay locked in on what's going on now.
Lamar, Michael Pierce said to us after the game, those of us that were here in 2019, we remember what happened. What can you learn or what can you take away from thinking back to that time?
We lost. You know, we lost that game, man. We were so young too. You know, we got rookie receiver, second year, first full-time starting quarterback. We had a couple vets, but running back was young, got Gus. You know, we had Mark. Mark was like hurt. You know, our all-pro tight end Mark Andrews was, you know, nipped up. Like we had guys that was down, but guys was fighting, and we was young at the same time. We was just starting to get into that situation, you know, playoff atmosphere and stuff like that. But I believe we're gonna be better now this time around.
Lamar, you've matured since 2019 as a quarterback. What would you say that maturity has looked like for you? How are you different as a quarterback from then, besides just youth?
How am I different now? Experience, I'm gonna say. Just knowing more, you know, just from seeing so much. In my 6 years, just seeing a lot, I say that's where I've grown the most.
With Dalvin Cook, how much impact do you think? I mean, he'll have 2 weeks of practice before that playoff game. How much impact do you think he can make?
Oh man, ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. You know, with our offense, the guys we have on offense, the offensive line we have, and him just being a dynamic player he is, the sky's the limit. You know, there's no limit for that. I don't know. You know, I believe when he get his opportunity, his numbers called, he's gonna do what he do. Cook up.
Lamar, your offensive line is giving you, you know, a lot of time to throw a number of times this year, especially late. How important has that been, and how would you describe, I guess, the relationship that you've had with them in terms of that?
It's very important. For our guys to do their job. You know, they're supposed to block. You know, it's not my job to block, drop back, read coverage and block at the same time. You know, but them just giving me a lot of time to read out concepts and read the defenses and get the ball to my guys, and it's tremendous. You know, I feel like that's any quarterback's dream, to just sit back in the pocket and just let things happen, develop, and just throw strikes. But I believe they got better throughout the season. You know, guys going down, you know, just getting healthy at the right time, and just blocking their tail off. Just need to keep it going.
Lamar, aside from team MVP, first team All-Pro by the NFLPA, voted by players. What does that mean to you?
A lot. It means a lot. You know, respect from my peers. You know, guys who we're trying to beat. You know, guys trying to beat us. Who we're facing. You know, week in, week out. It means a lot. It's an honor.
Lamar, we saw some of your interview with Tom Brady. You've been open about, you know, kind of how impressed you've been with him and how you look up to him. Is there another player that you can think of that kind of gets you kind of in that same mode that you get in when you're talking to Tom Brady? I don't know. You know, that's the 7-time Super Bowl winning quarterback right there. You know, nobody beat that. So, you know, it's like, you're going to be excited talking to Tom. You know, try to pick his brain or something like that. So
just always excited to speak to him.
Lamar, we've seen he said to you on the podcast that you're one of the reasons that people like watching the NFL. And the way that you play. What does it mean to you when you have the GOAT saying to you that showing his respect for you and that he really admires your game?
Yeah, that was an honor. I told him that. He was telling me about a clip from high school that went viral. I wasn't expecting him to say that. So that let me know he's been watching a long time. That's just cool. For Ray to feel that way about me as a player. That means a lot.
Lamar, I think there's a record number of black quarterbacks in the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, is that encouraging to see? And do you sort of take pride watching a guy maybe like C.J. Stroud, who is a rookie and made it in his first year?
Yeah, that's great to see. Life's just just different now. Stuff is evolving. Guys are just being great. Just showing off their true talent. C.J. Stroud, tremendous quarterback. I told him when we played against him early this season, first game of the season, I'm like, bro, you amazing out there. College not even nothing compared to how he is right now. Just from me watching from afar, he's a great quarterback, and for other black quarterbacks to be playing in the playoffs, that's tremendous. Hopefully more guys be included as years go on.
Lamar, we've seen this is your most accurate year in terms of completion percentage. How much of that do you think is attributable to the footwork development that you've kind of put in over the years?
I believe everything plays its part. Just maturity, footwork, studying, everything. Just trying to be a better player, trying to be a great player at this high level game. We're playing, just trying to get better at everything. So I believe that's what's helping me out. With the accuracy and stuff like that.
Lamar, Joe Flacco, your former teammates, going to be playing in the playoffs. Are you going to be watching that game? And what feelings do you think might come up when you're watching Joe play?
I don't know if I'm going to watch the game. I know I'm going to watch film. So, but it's great to see Joe back playing. Because I always felt he was elite. Just from my rookie year watching him practice, seeing him throw the ball across the field from, just flat foot and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, this guy, he's all mechanic. But if we play him, just hopefully he'll be, just showing off the Joe elite then. But yeah, it'll be great to play against him.
Lamar, how is it this week for you? Are you antsy at all to get to the game, or what's it like?
But I gotta stay locked in on what's ahead. We have nothing ahead right now. We just practicing, trying to get better. For whoever our opponent is next week. But I'm definitely antsy.
Is it hard practicing without an opponent, not knowing where you are now?
Not if you ask him.
A couple teammates mentioned how it kind of sort of to them this year, how much more freedom you had at the line of scrimmage, especially in the system. I wonder how did you approach that, and just in the bigger picture, how did you develop the way you see a field, the way you read a game?
Well, it started with Coach Monk. He told me when he first got here. He texted me actually because I was down in Florida. He was up here, I guess. He was telling me, I'm gonna give the keys to the offense. It's up to you to make certain decisions at the line. If you don't like it, put us in a better situation. But if you mess up, it's gonna be on you. So, and I'm cool with that. Because I'm seeing the field. I'm seeing the field, and I'm out there. I'm the one. Got to make things happen. My teammates and and I can't give you the secret on how I see the game. That I just give you that.
Lamar, along those lines, how did you kind of develop the skills to do, some of the jump passes and sidearm throws that we've seen you make this year?
Just delivering the baby. Just trying to deliver the baby to my guys. That's all I'm trying to do. Just get the ball to the playmakers. That's my job. I'm not trying to. I can't run and hand it to them. So I gotta try my best to, my ability to get the ball to those guys and let them do the rest. Just like, probably week to the Dolphins game, I got to get the ball to those guys, and we all seen what they can do with the ball in their hands. So I just got to do my job to keep trying to distribute the ball.
Hey, Lamar, at this point, 6 years into your career, you talked to OBJ before he signed. You talked to Dalvin Cook. How important is that role for you at this point in your career to be able to recruit guys? And what is your pitch? Are you obviously a pretty good recruiter?
I don't know, cause all right, OB he got here, he signed right away, but Dalvin went to the Jets first. We ended up getting him late in the season, so I don't really know how my recruiting game is. I gotta talk to Eric.
All right, Lamar, thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Very focused practice, and
that's what we were looking for today, and that's what we'll be looking for the rest of this week through Saturday. So we're off and running, and we're going to work. What questions you have?
How'd you enjoy your Monday night?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I especially enjoyed it when they hit those and when they got the scramble play. JJ got the scramble play out and hit Colston on the crossing route. Then they scored. I was really happy about that. But I was really just proud of Jim. I think that team, their faith, the connection they have with one another. They truly are a family. I think Jim talked about his football family and his family at home. Those two things are something we talk about here. Being 100% committed to both of those two things will take you far. And that team is kind of epitomizes that. So congratulations to Michigan. Congratulations to my brother.
John, you don't get to kind of take in a game of that magnitude like that as a fan too often. I don't know when the last time was, but how different was that experience and how fun was it for you?
It was different and fun. I mean, I tell you, it was really taken with the crowd. I mean, was on the sideline for a little while, gave Jim a little hug there, then got up into the stands and was with our family. And the stadium was just rocking. It was stuffed with people, half and half. And really, so when Michigan's defense was on the field, their fans were just screaming at the top of their lungs. It was deafening. And when Washington's defense was on the field, their fans were screaming at the top of their lungs, and it was deafening. So it was deafening the whole time. There was no break, and they were half the stadium was as loud as really any stadium I've been in. It was enclosed. The bands, the students, the whole college thing was really electric. It was really powerful.
When you watch that game, do you watch it as a fan, or does any element of you watch it as a coach?
I mean, I watch it as a fan mostly. I know what coverages they're in. I know what fronts are in. I'm looking at that a little bit, with some interest. But more than that, I'm probably, just a little nervous, and hoping for good outcomes, as a fan. It's like a fan would.
What did he say when you tapped him on the sideline? It looked like he was really locked in and maybe didn't know what was going on when it first happened.
I think it's funny because I've been asked that, and I forget what we talked about, to be honest with you, but he did kind of looked up and he went, "Oh, John, hey." It's like, he might have said you made it, but it was just great. It was, well, what happened was I'd been down there for about 5 or 10 minutes of the game, and they were going and he was working, and then the ball came that way and there was a timeout and he was just like 10 feet away from me, so I'm like, that's my opportunity, so I rushed it at that point.
When you see your brother hoisting up the trophy and you see the confetti down and your parents on the field, do you start to kind of envision maybe yourself being there in that same type of spot a couple of weeks?
Of course, like any brother or sibling, your brother gets something, you want it too, right? And you do though. I think just and Eric had mentioned that too afterwards when we were walking off the field. You're down there, you see the team, you hug it, you become a part of the celebration, and the confetti and the jubilation and the tears, and you just kind of sinks in. And it's like, man, I really want to experience this for our team. I want our team to experience this, and that's the big picture. That's the ultimate goal for the season. And then with that, back to one day at a time and play every time.
Hey, John, did you ever get a tattoo to honor a team or a season?
I kind of I told my wife and daughter, they get first dibs on the tattoos, probably choices, but a Super Bowl championship would be pretty tempting. So.
John, getting back to this team, just as soon as the season ended, you've had at least 3 assistants had the permission requested from other teams.
Right.
What can you say about that, and how do you balance that versus what you're also working on now?
Right. Well, yeah. That's. I say it's great. I say I'm really proud of our guys. I've said many times I think we have the best coaching staff in the world, and I love our coaches. I love the jobs they do. I think we have a bunch of coaches that are going to be coordinators and they're going to be head coaches on this staff. They're going to be very successful for a long time. It's just a great staff. So I think any opportunities that they get, I support, and I'm excited for them to have those opportunities. It really doesn't. There's really no balance with it at all, Bo, because everything they do with the interview is set up outside of the work here. So they do their full obligation here throughout the course of the week, and then there's 1, 2. Some guys have 3 interviews, but that's all done either late at night, later in the evening, or possibly on the weekend if they have some time.
Coach, people talk about rest versus rush, rest versus rust. You played 17 regular season games with practice since July. How much rust can possibly keep been in for 2 weeks?
Yeah. It's more. It's not really about that. I don't think. I think we're gonna have a great week of practice and try to get better in every single area, get sharper. One of the things we talked about was be your own biggest critic. And in terms of being your own biggest critic, and this week and trying to improve in every area you can, you're also your own biggest advocate. So advocate for yourself by being critical of yourself and try to do the best you can to become as good as you can or better this week in terms of making improvement, and then we'll be ready and prepared for what's ahead of us.
Your first impressions with Dalvin Cook, and when you got him, you view him as an insurance policy, or hey, come on in, let's start competing, let's see?
We view him as a very valuable or potentially very valuable weapon on our offense. So obviously, Dalvin Cook is a high pedigree player, a highly decorated player, and he's still got talent and ability, and he's smart. He's in great shape. He's in football shape. He's been playing football. Looked very good in practice out here today. So I think he's going to be a valuable part of our team in the playoffs here.
Do you start to look this week at all as potentially who you could face, or is that too much coming at you? And also on that, if you do, is it helpful the ones that you've already seen?
Yeah. Yes to both questions. We definitely know that there's the 4 teams that we can play, and we're all looking at them. We're going back and looking at them. The people that we played most recently, we've seen more on. People we haven't played, like Houston, we haven't played for a while. We've got to obviously get to work on, but that's kind of what the coaches are doing. We're looking at every single possible team we could play, and building ideas for those games.
John, just on that note, Joe Flacco beating the Browns this weekend. How do you approach that? Are you sort of cheering for the man? Are you, do you separate his performance from what you want for the Browns? How does that work?
Yeah, I love Joe, and we've texted back and forth a number of times since then. It's been fun. I'm happy for him and for his family. I'm excited for him, and it really doesn't matter what team you got someone playing for. I always say never been. My dad was always a coach, so we never really were too much fans of teams. We were, especially in football, we were fans of friends and family. That's who we rooted for. So Joe's a friend and family to me. So heck yeah, I root for Joe Flacco. But I don't root for any opponent that we're playing. So it doesn't really matter this week. We'll play whoever wins. We're taking on all comers, so to speak. And then if it comes to that, and we're playing Joe, and I know a lot of people on other teams too. Whoever you're playing, they become the opponent. And trying to defeat the opponent by any means necessary.
John, Michael Pierce had alluded to you planning to do a stadium walkthrough. Is that still the plan for Saturday? And I can't remember if that was something you did the last time you had the bye, but kind of what went into maybe doing that.
Yeah, we're gonna have a practice on Saturday at the stadium, 1 o'clock. It's just it's a practice. It'd be the normal practice we would do here. We just actually kind of sat down and talked about it, and it came up in the conversation. Hey, how about we take it to the stadium just to keep a rhythm? I don't think we practiced on Saturday last time. That was a long time ago, but we didn't really practice on Saturday. But we thought that would kind of put us in more of a rhythm in terms of the pace of possibly type, as if you were playing a game this weekend.
For 17 weeks, you practice to improve and focus on performance. What's the practice mentality of this week when you don't have necessarily the focus?
Right. The mentality is to have to do our best, to have our best practice today, so that we can be best prepared for when the time comes, when our best is going to be required, which is a week from this weekend. So it's really focused on one play and one day at a time this week, stack up some good days, and be the best football team we can be coming out of these 4 practices, going into the preparation that we can.
Is it good to know that the 4 teams that you could potentially play, you played all those teams at some point this season? 2 of them you played twice to this point.
Right. Well, it is helpful. I think most teams are familiar with each other to some degree. Like if you haven't played somebody, it's a little tougher. But the fact that we played all 4 teams, everybody knows each other. It's going to be about going out there and putting a great game plan together, of course, but just playing your best football.
What's the excitement level knowing you're going to be at home for this first game? You haven't had that in a while, in the postseason, that advantage.
Well, it's going to be great. I mean, being at home in any game is great. We love being at home here, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Just when it comes to me, the games are going to be everywhere. Everybody's going to be excited for the ballpark games and stuff like that. But I'm going to let it come to me and just enjoy football and take care of my body and just one thing on the weekends.
Is it helpful that of the 4 teams that you could see, obviously you're not going to see 2 or 3, just the way it works, that you've played them before, you're familiar, especially within your own division? Is that at all helpful, or do you think it's just truly kind of new one-game season and anything can happen?
No, it's helpful because we played that team before, so we can see things that we've done well in, and we can keep adding on to those things, and things that we didn't do well as well on. So we just clean up those things in practice. So we've seen them practice already and in the game. So going on the iPad and just finding things out to get better at, and we're going to execute other games.
We hear locked in focus so much around this team. John Harbaugh has even talked about just the tunnel vision and how good you guys are at that. That can't be taught. So where does that kind of come from, just the philosophy of this team and what you've been able to do so far and what you want to do still?
I think it's just a good mix with young players and vets and stuff that have been there and done that. Kyle Van Noy, a guy who's been in the dance 3 times and won 2 of them. T-Rob is a guy that's very just young and hungry and ready to learn. We have guys in the mid like EQ and I. Everybody just loves each other. Everybody is here for that one goal, and everybody just locked in on the same page. Taking it one day at a time, enjoying each other while we're still here, because it's a blessing to be in the playoffs. So now we have to take it one day at a time and execute and just take it just one game at a time as well.
Thanks, Justin.
Along those lines, doesn't it seems like you really feel like the opportunity's there for this team, that you have a special group. What is it that kind of gives you that feeling?
Just the guys that we have, obviously starting with Lamar, how the offense has just been playing well, lights out, us on defense, starting with Roquan, Kyle's playing his tail off, everybody just playing at a high level, but we just have to take it one day at a time. Everybody take care of their body, everybody just enjoy this time while we're having it together in the bye week, and get ready for next week.
Justin, what was practice like today? Obviously, you're not game planning for an opponent, but what was practice like today?
It was just a look of things that we've already seen. On the defensive side, I can always speak for at least, like trap schemes, stuff that we've seen versus Steelers, even Miami as well, running to the ball and stuff like that, getting our position up. So those are things that we really saw today.
How beneficial do you think this time is for this team?
I think it's huge. Especially guys who are banged up a little bit. They can get their feet under them, make sure they're taking care of their body. It's good for us as well, just cleaning things up. Not having the stress of worrying about an opponent on the weekend. Instead, just take care of your body and just clean things up that we know that we can be better at.
Justin, does it feel strange at all to be in a bye week in January, or is it just welcome? It's just nice to have a few days off?
I'll say more on the welcome side. Just nice to have, guys were banged up, so it's another great opportunity for them to get better. Just taking it one day at a time and just seeing how your body feels. Because next week we're definitely gonna have something that we're gonna play. And that's when everybody's gonna get more locked in. But this week is more relaxed and just we're just basically just letting it come down. So.
Will you plan to watch the games this weekend, or will you just watch on film next week?
So what time?
Will you watch the games live on TV this weekend, or will you just watch the film this coming
definitely watch the film, but I'm not gonna make an emphasis to watch the games this weekend. I'm just gonna pop it on when I feel like I have time, just some leisure time. But outside of that, I'm just gonna let playoff game.
I just think it'll be a really cool opportunity.
We hear so much about the drive and the focus of this team, and you've been around 10 plus here, 12 years since our rookie season. Do you see that? And if you do, where can you even pinpoint where that comes from?
Talking about the drive and focus of this team, I think it's something that's just ingrained in our culture. From the top down, every single person, every single man and woman that has a role in this organization is valued, whether it's being the owner of the team or working in the front office to the kitchen and cleaning staff, the firemen. The drive and the focus is something that we all embrace and that we all understand. It's something that we share. It's something that is collective. As far as taking it onto the field where we understand it matters the most, we have a locker room full of guys that know that at any moment, they may be called upon to be the guy to make the play and win the game. So, I'll leave it at that.
Last one for Justin. Anything? Think you're good?
just come out, practice, get better, sharpen your fundamentals, sharpen your tools, keep your mind sharp, keep your wind up, and stay prepared.
You know, physically, it's been a long year. How do you feel right now? How having a couple days off, and where are you?
Just at the point everybody else is around the league right now. We all banged up, all hurt, but at the end of the day, nobody cares. So I'm doing my best to get my body back to 100%. Get ready for the first game.
Do you find the weight and the unknown difficult?
Not at all. I think at the end of the day, whoever come out on the field, they're gonna get every piece of me. I'm gonna be out there 10 toes down, ready to go to war. So whoever that opponent may be, I'll be ready.
Did you watch this weekend, or were you just like, I'll wait till film next week?
Yeah, I have a choice to watch this weekend, so I'll be sitting there seeing what plays the two teams are running and trying to figure out how we can stop them.
Patrick, what was the focus of practice this week? Obviously, you're not game planning, so what was the focus out of practice?
Fundamentals, get back to what made us us. Few things we're having at the end of the season that we don't like, so we're just cleaning up everything that we need to clean up fundamentally. So that way, this end of the season really come down to fundamentals, and we still tackle, we still get off the line, we still do small things right.
Patrick, is there a kind of sense of pride, like this week, like you guys earned this week off, like you guys earned the rest? I mean, do you kind of take advantage of it that way? Just say, when you hit the field this week, hey, we earned this.
Yeah, definitely earned it, but I was just talking to somebody earlier about it, like, what's the point of earning the teams that they go to waste? So that's the biggest thing, so we're staying sharp right now, just staying on top of the game. That way we don't go next week, being sluggish, being rusted or whatever people can say about that 2019 run. So we're doing our best to be fundamentally sharp, fundamentally sound, and everything to come in swinging.
What does it mean to you and part of this team? The defense, first defense to lead the league, fewest points, most takeaways, most sacks.
It means a lot, honestly. It just shows all the hard work and dedication that went into all the sacrifices that everybody made, and it shows that every play counts. Hats off to every single guy in our room. Hats off to the guys on the offense side of the ball for being able to put us in the position that we were in. So, just team effort.
The old adage is defense wins championships, along your lines of the games, especially. Do you feel like as you go into these playoffs that you guys feel that burden, that responsibility?
Definitely. Because if you look at the games lately, it's been all last few minutes getting scores and people and stuff. So definitely in that situation, the defense got their back against the wall, they got to get stopped. So you can't put that on the offense. You got nobody but yourself that's on the field. You got the opportunity to get stopped, so you got to stop.
Patrick, you made reference in passing to 2019. You got here right after that, and obviously there aren't a ton of guys left, but there were plenty. How much has that come up over the last few years? Not so much dwelling on it, but maybe using that as a learning experience. And is that coming up now among the guys that were here 4 years ago?
Well, I haven't heard it since it happened that time and then now. So we honestly don't even care. Honestly, the last thing we're thinking about, we don't care about the rust. We won't be sharp, this and that. We got the rest, we earned the rest for a reason. But at the same time, we understand that we still want to get fundamentally sound. We still know there's things that we can get better at. So the whole focus is just us getting better, honestly.
Patrick, what is the mentality? When you close the door on the regular season, does the playoff season feel more intense? Does it feel different?
Most definitely. I'd be lying if I said it didn't. There's a lot at stake. You only get one shot. So that's the biggest thing is that each play matters, each yard matters, each play the grass matters. So you just got to come out full swing and full tilt and just be on top of everything.
Do you take anything from your experience of winning a national championship? In terms of what it takes to win a championship?
I think the biggest thing is just having your teammates back. Stuff will go sideways quick. And there could be funny things or it could be coaches not seeing how that one thing or players not seeing how that one thing, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, as long as everybody stay together, everybody just stay in the moment and stay true to ourselves. We just rely on what got us there in the first place. I think we're on.
Love the game, man, and it's not really why I'm playing the game. I'm really chasing that big thing, and that's what it's all about at this point. All the personal accolades, that stuff come and go.
What's your mentality and approach for this week?
Take advantage of this week, get everything you can out of this week, hone in on the fundamentals, make sure your cardio is good, and just make sure, keep reminding yourself, be ready to rock and roll next week, whatever day that is.
Are you anxious? Lamar said he was kind of antsy.
No, I'm not anxious. I'm always about preparation, so I'm just preparing. And when my opportunity comes, just like anything else in life, I'm going to be there and take it full and take off.
Well, you're always focus in practice. You know, you're not game plan for somebody. So what was practice like today?
Fundamentals, and then just doing what we do, playing football. Because at the end of the day, it's football. That's all you can practice, and it's run or pass, and just working on plays and just working on ourselves. And I think that was huge, and that goes a long way.
Bro, you're always intense. Is there another level of intensity when it's playoff football?
Wait and see.
Roquan, what did it mean to you for this defense to be given the kind of the highest honor? You could get Triple Crown winners. You guys right now first defense to do that. As many great defenses as this franchise has seen, you guys being the first to do that.
Yeah, no, that's big time to be acknowledged in that way. But at the end of the day, that was in the regular season. Our plans have shifted to the postseason, so that's great. We did this and we did that, but none of that matters in this season of ball, because what matters is getting that dub 1 week at a time, and we know what we're chasing. So that's our biggest thing, and it's going to start 1 week at a time.
What's it like to face all the opponents you could have in the divisional round? Are you going back over notes, or you just waiting until you see who that opponent is?
You have to just wait and see who that opponent is, and you obviously know who it's going to be. One of 4 teams? I'm not quite sure. So it's going to be something like that. But at the end of the day, the playoffs teams are a bit different. Everybody's going to give you everything they got because it's win or go home. It's your life or their life, and most cats are going to choose their own. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's gonna be intense regardless of who the battle is against. But just know we'll be ready, locked and loaded.
How much of an emphasis do you put on kind of setting the tone for this team and crafting the right mindset going into the playoffs?
It means a lot. It's about starting fast, and I know a couple games in the past, but that's the regular season. Didn't start quite the way we wanted to, so it's just about emphasizing that throughout practice, throughout this week, as well into next week, and just knowing, hey, we have to start fast. We start fast, attention to detail. On our craft, play in and play out, no one can touch us. But when we get complacent and things, not doing things to our standard, that's when, slips come into crack. But we just know that, and we just have to attack each and every detail. And I feel as if we do that, everything else will take care of itself.
Roquan, Kyle Hamilton, also named All-Pro. You walk there next to him. You've seen him grow up. What has been your, how would you describe his growth, I guess, in the time you've known him and seen him blossom?
Yeah, honestly, man, I joke with him sometimes. Funny story, I don't know if I've ever said it, but I used to tell him I was questionable about it when I first got here. And I don't know if he ever said that. I wasn't really sure, Notre Dame guy with no disrespect or anything like that. He from Georgia, though, in a sense. And, but this year, man, day in and day out, I seen him doing a lot of really good things in the latter part of OTAs when he got in, as well as in camp. And I'm like, hey, man, this guy's so versatile, can do so many things. And, he's just proving it to the league. I've seen it all throughout camp. So I think the guy's ceiling is still so high. He's just scratching the surface of what he truly can be. And I'm grateful that he's on our defense and can create so many different pitches. He's out at nickel giving me edges, the best. I think he's the best perimeter edge setter in the league for his DBs and things of that nature. The guy comes through in the alley and he'll serve you up a cold dish as well if you come through slipping. So he's definitely got some of my mentality in him. So I gotta, he's getting out of his shell more and more. So I'm just excited for him, and I think there's just so much great things in store for him.
Roquan, you certainly know about Dalvin Cook. What do you think about the Ravens adding a guy like that?
I think, obviously he's a tremendous player, done a lot of great things in this league, Pro Bowls, multiple out, 1,000-yard seasons. So when you have a back like that going against him twice a year up in Minnesota and I was in Chicago, you have a great deal of respect for the way the guy plays the game. So I'm glad that he's here. I think he's definitely going to be able to help us in whatever capacity that is. I'll leave that up to the coaches, but I'm grateful that he's here, and I think it's going to be a great asset for our team.
This is really your first year. Is there a moment this season where you thought,